continue with the OSCARS book by Vanity Fair. You may have seen the other videos that I did of it that were both with no talking, but I wanted to do the third part with some talking. But I may do the whole book as a non-talking video anyway, because there's so much to see and go back over. So the last video ended on this page with Rob Lowe and Mel Gibson and Nicolas Cage. Here we have a buoyant evening with Whoopi Goldberg and Shirley MacLaine. Jodie Foster. Got a boost from Oscar and Julian Sands, a one-time co-star and companion. That was in 1989. Very young looking Sarah Jessica Parker and Robert Downey Jr. in 1989. Johnny Carson. There's Tom Hanks, age 33. That's with his wife in 1990, Rita Wilson. And he had already made a splash and the film Big. Saying here, all 33, we kind of got his fame later on slightly. The Jimmy Stewart of his era. Hanks certainly needed to get a move on. By age 32, Stewart had already pulled in his first and only acting Oscar for The Philadelphia Story. Not one to rush, Hanks would do Stewart one better with triumphs for Philadelphia and Forrest Gump in 1994. Spencer Tracy is the only other star to have scored back-to-back Best Actor victories. It was a night of gold and glory for Denzel Washington, who put the squeeze on his wife, Pauletta Washington, and the gleaming icon of his 1989 Best Supporting Actor win in the five-time Oscar hopeful, notching nominations for portraying historical figures Steve Biko, Malcolm X and Reuben Hurricane Carter, and also take 2001 Top Acting Honours for Training Day. Bridges, Jeff Bridges, Wendy Bridges, Susan Bridges. Georgia Armani with his niece. Years after Michael Jackson accompanied Diana Ross to the Oscars, he was on the arm of the ultimate pop diva, Madonna. Embodying every blonde that evening, Madonna had roused the Shrine audience with her rendition of Stephen Sondheim's Sooner or Later, I Always Get My Man, from Dick Tracy, named the best song of 1990. Nonetheless, Women's Wear Daily commented at the time that the couple looked like rock and roll circus freaks, what with their matching white and bauble explosions. Later, at Spago, their entrance was one of the most notable episodes in Swiftie lore. The night that really rocked the room was when Madonna came in with Michael Jackson, recalls Hollywood insider and photographer Jolene Schlatter. She looked glorious that night, like Marilyn Monroe. Before you know it, she was sitting on Warren Beatty's lap. This, as Madonna and Michael departed in a flourish of camera flashes, in came a shiny, happy, and let's say celebratory Jeremy Irons. Got there Al Pacino, Barry Levinson, 1991. Martin Suarez, Sinead O'Connor, and Daniel Day-Lewis. Then newlyweds, Tom Cruise and Nicole Kidman, compared 1991 party favours with Dustin Hoffman, a 7-time Academy Award nominee, Hollywood's 1988. Odd couple Cruise and Hoffman had starred in that year's Best Picture, Rain Man, for which Hoffman won his second Oscar to go with his Kramer vs. Kramer Gold. The Cruise and Kidman matchup would loom over LA for the next decade, even steaming up the screen in Stanley Kubrick's Eyes Wide Shut. Kidman would have to wait until 2003 to earn the most coveted of door prizes for playing Virginia Woolf in The Hours. One wonders what close-lipped and steely-eyed Robert De Niro, with Dookie Smith far left and daughter Trainer De Niro, was thinking as he entered the Board of Governors ball empty-handed on Oscar night in 1991. It's hard to imagine the 6-fold nominee and 2-time winner as Best Supporting Actor in 1974's The Godfather Part 2 and the Best Actor in 1980's Raging Bull, being an even-tempered runner-up, particularly in a year when he turned in not one but 2 remarkable performances in The Goodfellows and Awakenings, for which he secured his nomination. Those locks, by the way, were homegrown for this next Oscar-nominated role, that of Max Cody in Martin Scorsese's 1991 remake of Cape Fear. 1992 Spago Jam, all eyes were on the two-time Best Actress winner, Sally Field. You Like Me, You Really Like Me, Rita Wilson and Demi Moore, who the previous summer had caused quite the uproar by appearing very pregnant and very naked on the cover of Vanity Fair. As columnist George Christie would remark in The Hollywood Reporter that week, it was a fine night for bursting out. Vanity Fair's Sarah Giles worried about the stitching that snapped on the front of her bosom. Best dressed Demi Moore, Sarah told anyone she'd recently bought Marilyn Monroe's bra at auction for £500. Looks like that's the head there of Tom Cruise. Spike Lee, George Lucas, James Singleton. David Spade, Chris Rock and Chris Farley. Saturday Night Live cast members cut loose at the Maple Drive restaurant for Elton John's first annual viewing party in 1993, a fundraiser for his AIDS Foundation. 2 years later, Sir Elton himself would share an Oscar with Tim Rice for their song Can You Feel the Love Tonight from the Disney's Lion King. Here with the troika of the modern era Oscar night, 1993 to be exact, the martinet in the middle, Swifty Lazar, the imperious host who owned the after party, the sly fox on the left, Jack Nicholson, whose nearly 50-year mastery over outsized combustible screen roles and the excesses of Hollywood nightlife made him the Lord Mayor of the evening's annual glitz and power parade. Awards MCs often addressing directly from the stage as if the show were put on at His Majesty's pleasure. The dame on the right, Elizabeth Taylor, that night's Herschult Humanitarian Award recipient, in whom celebrities' quintess has long seemed instilled. Thompson Centre wasn't the only one stunned once the Academy Awards had been granted in 1993, weeks earlier when Thompson's name had been announced by a nominee for Best Actress for her role in Merchant Ivory's Howard's End. Her mother, actress Belinda Law, shown here behind Thompson, had remarked, "You haven't got a snowball's chance in hell." Mothers obviously don't always know best, as Thompson won handily that year, then went on to take a screenwriting award for 1995 Sense and Sensibility. Liza Minnelli had been named Best Actress 2 decades before for playing Sally Bowles in Cabaret. Okay, I think we'll leave it there. We're at 1994. And we have quite a lot to continue with. some very familiar faces coming up. And what I'd like to do at some point is go back over some of what we've already had in other videos, but as I said, it was a no talking one, and I think there's just some really interesting facts and information that I'd love to share and read further myself with you. So, thank you for joining me in this time together. Take good care of yourself, and I'll see you again.